The Red Pill Phone Tap joins you again for all of your red pill wisdom and truth. I am Wesley. I am here with the other creator and host of this show, Anthony. I hope you've had a great week, sir. They still need our help, sir.
As always, and I am humbled to be an answer to prayers.
There you go. Just because we're experts at this doesn't mean we can't have a little bit of humility. We used to be there too, right?
Man, the master knows all the ways to fail.
I like that take, brother. That is a very, very good take. And we have a topic this week that we're going to jump right into. And Anthony has even been, talk about the master reaching down to the white belts. You're even going to be talking to the 97 percenters during our foundational part of this segment. That's very kind of you, sir.
You know, I try to help everybody with it.
Yeah, it's like it's like you're doing some charitable work. You're doing some pro bono stuff on this episode.
You know, even you know how if you're keeping up with any political shit right now, even Democrats are in Texas trying to get votes. So sometimes you gotta go where people not already on your side.
Yeah.
And just give them a nugget or two, just to see if they can follow the crumbs out of the darkness into the light, and see if they can see another view and help them out. Even if they still want to be what they want, where they are, just give them another another angle or another perspective that they may not be used to or understand.
You made a comment on our way over to the studio that eventually the pendulum is going to completely swing in a direction where women are not going to be able to get away with anything.
No.
We're not there yet, but I think those are the voters that you're trying to win over on this episode, aren't you?
Exactly.
It's what we're going to be talking about today for this segment, guys, is we've titled this No Rotation Mentalities. That's No Rotation Mentalities. And we're going to give you a very foundational part to this segment. Anthony, when you begin dating, if you begin dating a girl and you start using terms like rotation, roster is one of the terms I've used. Boy, they won't go on another date with you. They'll clutch their pearls. How dare you?
Well, that's kind of like trying to tell them the playbook. So I don't use terms like that.
My point by saying that is this is still something that's shamed, right?
Oh yeah, they don't want to be. They only want to be yours, but they don't want to belong to you. So
that's very well said. They want to be. They want it to be. You're the only person that. They're the only person you're seeing, but they're seeing lots of other guys because they can always fall back on the excuse. Well, I didn't mean to get engaged to him. It just happened.
I remember even when I said this to a chick recently, she was like, so are you dating? And I was like, I have options. And she was like, oh, like she did that literally, like her eyes looked to the left, like, what does that mean? I have options. She was like, well, so that means you just dating anybody? And I was like, no, I have standards. So not anybody.
A lot of women will say this when they're trying to kind of use you as their therapist because dating's hard. And they're like, oh, God, dating's so hard. What's been your experience? Surely you're experiencing the same thing as me. And if you're not experiencing the same thing as them, they go clutching the pearls. Really? So I guess you're just a player, huh?
Yeah.
No, bitch. I'm just able to do things easier than your fucking loser ass is. Don't fucking judge me because I've made myself good at this and not just sit around like a fucking victim like you do.
So this is like having standards. Like you have standards in your selections of who you're dating, and for a man to hear this, like, wait, standards? What's that? Like, yes, motherfucker, you can have standards when it comes to who you want to date, and that's after you've developed a mindset of I can let go and get women as I please.
Yeah.
And
we were using the example earlier. Don't sit down and read in your video game magazine. Don't spend 4 or 5 hours trying to learn how to beat the final boss at the end of the video game before you even know what button makes you shoot the gun or what button makes you jump. Motherfucker, when you first start out the video game, just run around and push buttons and learn shit.
Well, they put you in a training scenario in the beginning of the game so you can get used to the controls.
No. I just need to know how to beat this last boss, Anthony.
That's the name of the game, right? I got to beat the game. How would I beat the game if I don't know how to beat the boss?
Yeah.
Well, motherfucker,
how are you going to beat the game if you don't even know how to play the game?
Right.
But, I mean, so let's kind of lay this out for them foundationally. Anthony, what on our show, what is a rotation?
To me individually or
No. I mean,
show?
just to us on our show.
Oh.
Just a plain Jane rotation. What does that look like to our 97 percenters that have maybe never heard this show before?
3 to 5 women that you're dating. And this is not somebody you're not exclusive to any of them. You're just dating them to gain experience in dating multiple women.
I can hear them shriveling up out there. I can hear the angry Twitter fingers going crazy. Anthony, are we manipulating any of these women? And
No.
are we being dishonest to any of these women?
No, not at all.
Want to make sure, guys, nobody on this program is ever suggesting that you manipulate, that you be dishonest, that you screw people over. None of that. You'll never hear that on the show.
First of all, when we talk about standards, no woman should be trying to make sure she's the only woman when you just met her.
And we're not saying this to women. We're saying this to you fellas.
Right.
Because they will try to do this. Just like how police will try to search your car when you don't have to legally let them. You have to have the knowledge of, like, these women are going to try to break you off, and they're going to make you feel special while doing it. Well, you're the only person that I'm
dating. Yeah.
And that's never true, by the way, guys. Do not listen to this.
And even if it is true, that's right now. Tomorrow, it's gonna be a new dude. Like,
later that night could be.
Right.
Right now, you're the only person that she's dating, so she's technically not lying to you.
Right
now, that's the kind of shit that is manipulative, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're the only person I'm with, like right now. So technically, still the truth. No, sir. And by the way, guys, we don't live our lives according to how women tell us we need to live our lives. Right, Anthony?
Facts.
Because then we have to do that from now on. We have to now follow them around and be like, how do I brush my teeth in the morning? What do I do in my career? How do I go to the bathroom? I mean, everything has been you telling me how to do shit. Now I'm lost without them, aren't I?
If you need approval for someone on how to live your life, then how are you living your life? Always based on someone else's approval? Like, they can switch up on you at any point, any time they want to. And what satisfaction is there for you when you're alone by yourself without them? So never leave your life in the hands of others that they haven't proven to you that they earned that position to even give you advice about your life. So don't give away your position on being the king of your own life, man. Don't do that.
Yeah, and on that same sentiment, what this show suggests that you do, and when it comes to the world of dating, and we're going to make this basic for everybody. We suggest that you don't lie to women, you don't manipulate women. However, you strongly, because you're a strong man now, after you've listened to this episode, hopefully, you're a strong man and you're going to determine what your life looks like for your happiness. And before, as we say on this program, before we can decide what our favorite restaurant is, we got to eat a lot of fucking restaurants, don't we?
Yep.
If we eat at one restaurant, we don't fucking know if that's our favorite restaurant. If we even claim it's our favorite restaurant, it comes from a pretty ignorant paradigm. It comes from a very ignorant place of, this could be the best restaurant, but I don't really know if it is. But the restaurant owner told me this is the best restaurant, so it must be. No, the restaurant owner is always going to tell you it's the best fucking restaurant. So before we can determine who the best woman is to get into a long-term relationship with, or as we say on the show, LTR, long-term relationship, before we decide who we can marry, before we decide who we can have children with, we have to have a rotation of 5 women that we're dating for at least how long, Anthony?
1 year.
That's a minimum, guys. 1 year. You need to learn how to be strong and have a dating rotation of 5 women so that you can see what qualities you like about women, what qualities you don't like about women, what it is that makes you happy. Sometimes, Anthony, would you agree with me that we have like this thought in our head of like what we think we like, and then we do it, and then we're like, oh, I don't really like that. And I always make fun of myself. And I've said on the show before, I'm an undecided voter. And I always will be, because the undecided voter, both parties cater to that person more than anybody else. They want that undecided guy. If I want free peanut butter sent to my house every month, if I'm an undecided voter, they'll be like, all right, if I send you the peanut butter, will you vote for me? Okay, cool. Get in that peanut butter then. Don't worry. No. We'll mail it to you. UPS. Just vote for me. But if you just loyally vote for one party all the time, then they know they got your vote. They ain't going to do shit for you. Right?
Yep.
And I say this because you have to be able to be that guy who's running a rotation where you can be like, I'm undecided. I don't know which of these 5 bitches I want. And every one of those women needs to cater to you as the voter. You see what I'm saying, Anthony?
Yeah.
And you need to know what that feels like. And like I said, sometimes I think I want shit and I don't. Traditionally I lean more liberal, but then I go to places that are really liberal, like Los Angeles. I'm like, I don't like it here. But I thought I would like it in a really liberal place because I like a lot of the liberal issues. And I hate to beat up on Los Angeles, but I kind of find that I don't like shit. I used to think, Anthony, when it comes to women, I used to kind of think that I wanted women that were kind of prissy and always had the latest bag. In other words, I kind of like equalize that to like they're always keeping up their looks. If they're always into the latest fashions, if they're always into the latest makeups and things like that. And then after dating, I found out, I don't like that as much as I thought I would.
Okay.
Those women tend to equal, while they always look good, maybe it's not looking good the way I want them to look good. They're, whatever Jennifer Lopez says is not slutty or is too slutty or, whatever these people that run these fashion industries or the people that are big into fashion, they're not having my chick dress like I'd like her to dress. Like, she's not dressing sexy enough. They're spending way too much on that handbag than they should be. $2,000 for a handbag. What the fuck? So whereas I thought I would like it because they'd always be fixed up, and they usually are, there's this other thing I don't like. But I wouldn't know that, Anthony, if I didn't have a rotation of chicks so I could find out, what do I like about this restaurant? Man, I thought I would like a place that always has raw oysters, but I'm also finding like they don't have the kind of beer I want or the kind of liquor that I usually drink. I thought this would be my favorite restaurant, but it's not. Now that I've eaten at other places, not as good as I thought it would be. I mean, Anthony, what do you think? I mean, to me, I don't think anyone should enter into an LTR without having a rotation. You know, that's only one of the benefits, just to know what you like and don't like about women and LTRs. What do you think the biggest benefit of having a rotation is?
Developing standards with a woman.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah.
Because you got to know what's acceptable and not acceptable from the woman you want to be with long term. So, is she selfish? Does she respect boundaries? I had this issue with if you listen to this podcast, you understand the term I'm using. Go to episode 27 about how we talk about women in this mindset. But I had a tryout, and
a tryout for your rotation.
Yes,
right?
And the conversations were fine, but when I wasn't responding to text messages, she called me. And to me, that is, even though she had high interest with me, she doesn't respect my boundaries, because if I'm too busy to respond to your text, I'm going to be too fucking busy to take your call. And at the time, I was recording a podcast, and I had to start it over because of the fucking interruption on my phone. And it turned me off, because if I can't respond to your text, I definitely can't respond to your phone call. You're being too clingy. And think about this for yourself, guys, if you're doing this shit. If she doesn't respond to your fucking text message, don't call her. That's not, you're showing that you can't be without this person.
I'll give one that's not so obviously, because I want guys to understand how a rotation will help you know what kind of chick you're with. Because you're just trying all kinds of different foods. What do I like?
But
to
finish that point on
my bad. I didn't know.
Because I was about to go into what I think you're about to go into. Because of I have dated other women, I know there's women out here that respect that boundary of, if I'm not available right now, wait. So I know I don't want this tryout. I don't call you back anymore because you didn't make the cut. You couldn't progress forward past the tryout because you've shown that you are too clingy, too needy, and I know what that looks like because I've been with clingy, needy. It looks like high interest, but if you don't have a rotation, you don't know what it looks like to have other people respect your boundaries because you just got one chick. And you think it's high interest instead of clinginess and neediness. That's why it's important for you to have rotations, to understand that, say, hey, these women act different in the same situation. So which one is better for me? And how does that look in the LTR?
And then in your rotation, if you have other women in your rotation that have high interest also, but they're not having to call.
Right.
You're like, oh, it doesn't have to equal calling me to equal high interest.
Nope.
They cannot be clingy and have high interest.
Right.
But you don't fucking know that till you know.
Right.
This is why we suggest going into, I was going to give a real specific one, Anthony. This is why we suggest you guys go into rotations. Just a real specific one, because that's, what you're talking about there is like, now we know that's not just not compatible. That's a fucking red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Like, nobody should be fucking with that bitch. I was going to give one real specific, and I've talked about it on the show before. The way my wife and I run a kitchen in our house. I used to be a kitchen manager for Outback Steakhouse. You run every morsel of food in that kitchen as $1. It had to be paid for by dollars from that restaurant. So every morsel of food there is treated like money. My friend's wife, every time I go over there, there's just food in the fridge. It's dead. It's not edible. There's no bringing that food back, Anthony.
No.
And every time. Look in the fridge, to go get a mixer for my drink or whatever. Dead food in there. Dead food. They spent money for it, but now it's dead. They didn't manage their kitchen right. And by the way, this is a lot of people.
Right.
I'm not dogging on you. Some people just live their life like this.
This is America.
This is America. And whenever I'm over there in the afternoons, they're deciding like at 5:00 what they're going to have for dinner that night.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not based on what is there. Is there a sale at the Kroger or HEB near them? HEB, guys, is a grocery store here in Texas. Is there a sale there? No, it's what am I in the mood for?
That's expensive.
That's expensive. And then when you don't eat all the fucking food, that's expensive. Now do that over the course of a year. How much wasted money?
Wow.
Now for people like my wife and I, this drives us insane. This drives us insane. We run that kitchen, Anthony, like a restaurant kitchen where we understand every goddamn morsel is dollars. And let me tell you, not every vegetable gets used because vegetables are the perishables that
go. Yeah, the hardest one.
You will always manage your meat, proteins, and shit. Well, you'll manage that because that shit's way more expensive. But every time I have to throw away some 49-cent cilantro, every time I have to throw away, I get mad. See, me and you were the same way because you worked in restaurants too.
Yeah,
I get mad. But I used to be married to a woman that was like my friend's wife.
Just give you a quick life hack on saving cilantro.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So
we do some life hacks here.
So get plastic bags, like Ziploc bags, and submerge the herbs in that bag to get all the air out. And first of all, okay, let me rewind.
I'm still listening
because the moisture is what's killing the cilantro.
Yeah.
So you put it on damp, you damp it out, get it as dry as you can. Put it in a Ziploc bag, and if you want to, you can put paper towels in it, just so you can, if it got any moisture, it'll absorb it. And then you dip the plastic bag in underwater, all the way to the line where you zip off the plastic bag to take all the air out. So
because the water is pressing up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's gonna take all the oxygen out of it. And then you can just throw that in the freezer. You can throw that in the fridge in the bottom where you keep your veggies if you think you're gonna use it quicker. But that's how you and if you're throwing it in the freezer, we'll do a quick freeze dry on it. But that's if you're not gonna use it soon. So if you're gonna use it later, what you do, you take it out, you let it thaw out, but you don't lose it. You can still use it, and you'll still get the freshness of the herbs. This is how you use fresh herbs. But if you don't want to use fresh herbs and you want to say, hey, you know what? I want the flavor of it. And if I use it, I want to be able to use it whenever I want to. You can throw those same herbs in the oven and put it on the lowest setting you can and let them dry out, and then crumble it up, and then you got dry herbs. As far as that, you can save it that way. If you know you're not going to use it, sometimes you think you're going to use it and you don't. That's why you still would do what I said earlier. Use that top. Look at that. We're doing life hacks in the kitchen and shit.
Yeah, and I was going to tell you, if that bored the hell out of you with Anthony saying that shit, then me and you can't date. Because I'm telling you guys, now that I've had this, now that I've finally had a spouse, had this, if anything happened in my marriage, I would not be able to deal with a woman that doesn't run a kitchen like me. It would make me unhappy daily. Okay? So if any of that bored you about the cilantro, then we can't date, bitch. If you're a guy, we can't date because I'm heterosexual. No offense to our friends in the LGBT community, but that's just how I roll. But if you're a bitch and you're listening to this, then we can't date because it would drive me insane. Now, my friend and his wife, they're fine. But I know what I like now. I would never be able to go back, Anthony. But it's only because I had a rotation and I dated lots of women and I've experienced women that don't get on board, women that can't cook and run. These fucking bitches that run around nowadays bragging that they can't cook. Bitch, we know what the fuck you're doing. You're bragging that your vagina is so good that you don't cook. You have other bitches cook for you because you're such a badass. We know what you're doing when you brag that you can't boil water. Bitch, we've seen this magic trick before. Don't act like that's not what you're doing. Cardi B in that song, WAP. I don't cook, I don't clean, but, and she's bragging because it's like, my pussy's so good that I have other people do that for me. I only get rich guys because my vagina is so good. If we won the lottery tomorrow, my wife and I would still run the kitchen like that. Guaranteed. This is just in our blood. It's how we run our life. We do not want to fucking waste money on food spoiling in our fucking fridge. We don't want to do it. Now, Anthony, why does society not allow us to talk about rotations? You've talked about why women will shame you because they're trying to game the system for themselves. But why can I go on Jimmy Fallon's Tonight Show and be like, okay, Jimmy, I just wanted to educate your audience a little bit about rotations, why it's healthy for men, what men need to do. Am I allowed to do that on Jimmy Fallon's show, Anthony?
Sure, if you want to get canceled.
Man, it just doesn't follow the Disney narrative, does it?
No, it does not.
Yeah, Anthony, why can't I go on Jimmy Fallon's show and be like, hey, this is what y'all need to do. You need to have this rotation. This will help you. This will help people. This will help the divorce rate go down. What we're suggesting, right, Anthony?
Yeah.
It's overall good for the public. Why can't we talk about this and not get canceled, as you just said?
Well, it's the road less traveled, right? And that doesn't. Hey, everybody is about being popular and doing things that everybody else is doing, and then if I do something that's not popular and I'm unique, then, people try to use that as being, I'm better than you because I'm doing something different. And that turns people off too because they're like, well, you think you're better just because you're not doing what I'm doing. So what I'm doing ain't shit because I'm going the status quo. Hey, whatever you want to do with your life is your business and your decision. What I will say to my fellow man is if you're in a situation with women that has always failed you and you have not been able to turn the corner, as you will, or get over a hump when it comes to dealing with women, I can give you a different perspective on how to deal with that, on how to live your life to where you're focused on your happiness and what makes you happy, and how your happiness, being happy within yourself, will be able to change the outcome of what you're actually looking for, and that's being happy with someone else attached to you.
Boy, you really are being nice to these 97%ers.
Listen, man, you gotta meet them where they at. You gotta meet them where they at, and then when they come in, hey, Wesley, look, this is what I do. You remember when the road to on Dusk to Dawn. Remember,
Yeah.
you got to take the motherfuckers way deep into the fucking desert. With all these lights, like, hey, look over here. Hey, look at it. We got chicken pussy and armadillo pussy. We got all kinds of pussy over here.
This is the best analogy ever.
And then when they get in the door and they close the fucking door, you lock it up. Look, motherfucker.
Oh man,
This ain't what you think it was.
Yeah. Y'all didn't know Salma Hayek was a vampire, motherfucker.
Exactly.
That's funny because I was just sitting here thinking, like, wow, you're really being kind, because you were saying earlier, do whatever makes you happy. Blah blah. What Anthony doesn't tell you, spoiler alert, is what we're telling you to do is going to make you happier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's but right now, if you've never listened to this podcast before, you're doing all this stuff in your head. Yeah, but this and yeah, but and then one time there was that and then yeah, but no man. You're going to be shamed for having a 5-girl rotation, even though it's the right thing to do. Even though it's going to lead you to happiness. More importantly, it's going to lead you to choosing the right partner.
Exactly.
It's going to erase a scarcity mindset. Anthony, I'm about to say a bad word. It's gonna erase a scarcity mindset of vagina. I also can't go on Jimmy Fallon and say men have a physical desire for female vagina. Well, not necessarily, because no. Men have been shamed since, what, the Adam and Eve stories, right? They've been shamed for having a physical need inside their body for vagina that controls their actions. They'll do the path of least resistance for vagina all day long, won't they, Anthony? I mean, they're just... Yeah. Whatever can get me vagina, I'll do it. And we sit around and act like that's not a reality. And you got all these guys that want to, well, I'm a little bit more sophisticated than that. I don't give a fuck how sophisticated you are, whether you went to fucking Texas A&M Galveston or you went to Harvard University. If you're a man, you have a physical need for a vagina. Well, what about gay men, Wesley? Well, they want to put their dick in something. They have a physical need. Maybe they want to put it in other men's asses. Whatever hole is your thing.
I was about to say, some version of a dark hole.
Yeah. Whatever hole is your thing, there's a physical need for it, guys. And so you will do a bunch of shit to try to do that. What we're trying to say is, once you have a 5-girl or guy rotation for our LGBT friends that are listening, once you have a 5-person rotation that is dependable, you will lose this scarcity mindset. You'll be able to learn things about the people you're dating. You'll be able to learn things, more importantly, about yourself that you didn't know before you had a rotation. Am I selling this pretty palatable, Anthony?
Oh, yeah.
Am I being okay? I want to make sure, because we're trying to wrangle everybody in. We're trying to get them deep into the Mexican desert
before we bite your ass on the neck.
Right. Exactly. Because we can't go on Jimmy Fallon and say that there's a physical need for a man to put his penis in a hole. I don't know why, because it's the fucking truth, isn't it?
If you as a man can control that desire, right? It slows you down enough to be able to see things for what they are, and you don't have this like starvation need to eat, right? Where you're like, I gotta get this need met. That's the only thing that matters. Well,
no, because you got 5 people that you're just doing it with, right?
Well, you have options, So the possibility of pussy is the biggest problem for guys that don't understand that you can get pussy elsewhere.
Right.
So because she's giving you the possibility of it doesn't mean that you can't get this for sure somewhere else and still figure out if this possibility is worth the time you're investing in it. So if you can still get this is why you have a rotation. You say you're not so hungry for what the possibility she can give you, because you have options to get it elsewhere. If that's what you choose to do.
Well, it allows you to observe when it's not the only source, it's not the only hole that you can physically put your penis in.
Well, they make you feel like that's the only...
Right.
So
because otherwise you're cheating on them. When you're just dating, we need you guys to be non-committal so that you don't have a scarcity mindset. She's not the only person that you can put your penis in, so that you can really stop and observe what this person is doing. And if they're throttling back, throttling on and throttling off the vagina, then now you're in this weird race. Like, you're in this jumping from one lily pad to the next. Like, how do I get the vagina? How do I get the vagina? How do I get the vagina? But if you have 4 other people that you're doing this with, when they start playing those games with you, because you don't want to go into a long-term relationship with a person that's playing games.
Exactly.
Rationing out the vagina. You want to set the standard of when daddy wants sex, daddy gets sex. Are there exceptions to the rules? Don't send your emails over here. I'm serious. Well, what if we're in labor with a child? If you're in labor with a child, you can't have sex. What about that? Well, then you're admitting that you can't have sex all the time. No, I'm not. And this is going to be very controversial. Women should be having sex with their dude anytime he wants to have sex. That's very controversial in this day and age. Thoughts on that, Anthony? I want to make sure that you're agreeing.
No. If I disagree, I'll cut you off. But my thing is,
I just want to set that standard. That's very shocking to some people. Well, it's my body. It's
I was just about to say
okay,
that.
and I'm
Yeah.
sorry. You have a very, very good take on this, because the first thing women are going to say, "Well, it's my body," and blah 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 blah. Blah. Okay, so go into that, Anthony, because you have a very good take on this. It's my body thing.
It's always been your body, and
Nothing's changed.
When has it not been your body? But the thing is this, and especially in an LTR relationship, and after you have given access to your body, I see it the same way as if I come over and you've given me access to your refrigerator. And the next time I come over and I go in the refrigerator to get something to drink, you're like, what are you doing in my refrigerator?
That's my refrigerator. This refrigerator belongs to me. But Anthony, no, take it a step further, because I love where you go with this. And so now they tell you can't go in the refrigerator.
So now I don't ever want to go in your refrigerator again for me, because now you've cut me off for giving me some access to something, to now I don't know if I have permission to get it, or I need permission to get it. I'd rather not even get in there anymore. I'd rather never have to deal with your fucking refrigerator again.
And when you come over and you're thirsty,
I won't.
Now you have to play a weird game with them, right?
Man, it's kind of it's getting kind of hot in here. I wish it had some kind of. I gotta wish that I kind of wish we had some AC. Can we open a window? Now you can't even talk
sure
about it.
Sure would be nice if I had something to drink and stuff. And you got to play this game, and then what do women do with the refrigerator at that point? When you start doing that, they start playing games with you and pretending like they don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
It's not like a dude. A dude would be like, "Oh, okay. Well, I told you couldn't get in my fridge. Let me go grab you a beer." Because I don't want you to go without. I just didn't want you in my fridge. Let me go grab it for you. No. A woman will be like, act like they don't know you want in the fridge and all this other shit. And ladies, listen to this next part. So Anthony, when this all goes down and you don't know when you can go to the fridge and shit like that, and there's a game being played, do you want to come over to that house anymore?
No.
Well, I mean, what do you do instead?
I go someone else.
Someone else's house.
Well, so you trying to tell me you only want friends whose refrigerator you can get into?
Yes, because that's what being a friend is. I don't want to.
Have I
feel
ever told you couldn't go into my fridge?
Never. I don't want to have. What's the point of having friends if every time I go over their house, it's like I'm going to their house for the first time? That's not comfortable. That's not like an inviting environment. I mean, truly, men are like this. We just strive to be entertainers when people come over, don't we?
Yeah.
We're like, hey man, I just got this new whiskey. Anthony, come here and try it out. It's a 15-year Knob Creek, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, I want to entertain. I get to have. I get to have a discussion with my friend and get to see him in person. This is an event for me.
But what are you doing? You're sharing, right?
Yeah.
You're sharing contents within your household. And when a woman is sharing, a lot of times the shit that they have to share, you don't want nothing to deal with. Mm-hmm. Like, trust me, you can't connect with this woman with shit that she can share with her girlfriends, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times our needs are different than what their needs are, but they can partake of what we actually have when it comes to resources within our home. So this is why when guys talk about when this whole internet shit where people are claiming who's the prize, men or women, the shit that I have in my house, you can partake in as a woman. The shit you have in your house, ladies, I can't partake in the shit that you have in your house the way you can in mine. It's a big difference. You would like to have the shit that I have in my house. Because what I have, everybody can have, right? Mm-hmm. Women are a little bit more different when it comes to the shit in their house because the things that they can share typically is only with women.
Well, Patrice O'Neal says this in the Black Phillip show, that vagina is important, but it's not special. Meaning every woman has one of these. It's not like, man, I was dating, I had a 5-girl rotation, met them around the same time, and went to take the clothes off. You're never going to believe this.
This bitch had a pussy.
I was going to say, got the clothes off. Out of 5 of these bitches, only one of them had a vagina. Damn it.
Oh,
man. I was one. Damn it.
Can you imagine,
all that wasted time?
Bruh, can you imagine if you had the fucking... If the statistics were... Not every bitch
one
got
out of 5 bitches got a vagina.
Do you not understand how fucking valuable a bitch with a pussy would be?
Oh my God!
But guess what, ladies?
You just like pull down their pants and it looks like Barbie. Can you believe that shit?
Fuck it. No, listen, man. If that was the case, ladies, then your pussy would be special.
Yeah,
that would be the case. But guess what? Even ugly and fat bitches got pussies.
Yeah.
So you're not special, bitch, because your vagina exists. It takes more than that a little bit. That's what we're trying to express. And fellas, you need to understand this as well.
This is more important for the fellas.
Right.
Because the women probably been knowing this. They're like, oh. But because I said this to my wife one
cheat
time.
Code for them. This shit works.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. I'm getting results. But I said this to my wife one time that having a vagina is not special. She didn't bat an eyelash. And she goes, yeah, because every woman has a vagina. Like, this is shit they know. Guys, this is shit y'all don't know.
Well, this is the thing they will play dumb with you about, and play pretend offended about.
Right. And what about? I mean, me and Cardi B, we have this wet ass pussy. Not every girl has this wet ass pussy. Give me everything you got for this wet ass pussy. Okay, man. Every girl. I mean, if you're below the age of 49. You probably got a wet ass pussy. As Patrice O'Neal says, it's important, but it's not special. And he compares it to having silverware in a restaurant. If you go to a restaurant, silverware is very important. How the fuck else are you going to eat the food? It's very important. If you go to a restaurant and it has no silverware, you're going to find out how fucking important silverware is. You're going to be like, what the fuck, motherfucker? I ordered pasta. How the fuck am I eat now? I can't just curl this shit up around my finger and grab a shrimp at the same time and eat it. So, I mean, silverware is important, but it's not special. When you go even though this is very important, when you go to a restaurant, you don't. Hey, excuse me, Anthony. I'm going to stop this conversation. Can I see a manager real quick? Yeah, just send him. Just send him by. Hey, hi, I'm Wesley. My first time here. I can't believe you guys have silverware. This is pretty crazy. Just wanted to give you guys a compliment. Tell the chef. Thank you. The food was okay, but tell the chef, thank you for this silverware. This was amazing. This is the most amazing meal I've had in a decade because you guys had silverware here.
Is this silver?
Is this actual silver? I didn't think it was, but just still tell the chef. Yeah, ain't nobody going to do that, dude, because silverware is just an expectation. And guys, many of you are going into dating without the expectation because you guys have been feminized down. And you know what? Hey, Anthony, I'm not going to beat up our 97%ers on this. There's a whole feminist machine that even non-feminist bitches subscribe to that tells them, my body, my choice, and all this rhetoric, all this shit. And guys, I want you to stop in your tracks right now and listen to this question. Is feminism about women's rights? Or, and this is a very important question, or is feminism about women having to do less to get more?
Oh, yeah.
Is feminism about women's rights, or is it about women having to do less to just get more for nothing? What is, we talked about this recently, Anthony. Bill Burr was talking about, be careful how many women's duties you take on as a man. Be careful, because they're downloading a lot of these shit jobs that women have, because men and women both have shit jobs. Whether it's taking out the trash or having to do laundry or cleaning up baby throw up off of shit. There's shit jobs both sexes have. Women are getting rid of their shit jobs, but they're not taking on many of the men's shit jobs, are they?
No.
They want you to keep all your shit jobs.
When you was talking about the song about the wet ass pussy and all the things that a man should do to get it, it was reminding me of, I'm a fan of like Greek mythology and shit, and it was reminding me of like how the sirens would sing like these songs to men to get them to come out deeper into the ocean.
I've never thought of this. This is such a good take.
And those guys are just hearing the song that sounds good, so they trying to figure out where is this sound coming from, and only to the point to where and the sirens, if you don't know, they live deep in the ocean. So in order for you to get to deep the ocean, you would have to go out far away from safety of the land or a boat to get to them. And the deeper you go into the ocean, the louder the sound gets. So the more closer you get to them, you think you're going to find what you're looking for, and then you end up drowning.
Yep.
So instead of listening to the shit that sounds good, that you think sounds good, why don't you actually partake of good shit?
Well, let's get to that siren thing for a second, because men have kind of gotten tired of Celine Dion talking about all coming back to me now, all this shit, because men are just like, look, I'm just trying to fuck. So the pendulum has swung the complete opposite way, where women are not like, and I will always love you, and men are like, dude, thank you, Whitney. It was very beautiful voice. I'm just trying to fuck. Okay,
man.
Look,
the music,
I'm just trying to fuck,
and the music has changed to that direction, right? Men are definitely looking for inner thigh action than they are hey, I don't need your love, bitch. Like,
Yeah. I'm just trying to fuck.
keep
So
all that love shit.
So then the pendulum swings the complete opposite way. And it's like, wet ass pussy, give me everything you... But it's like, women can't just be like, come over here and fuck. This, in this case, this song by Cardi B, Wet Ass Pussy. They can't just be like, come over here and fuck, and it's going to be awesome for you, and this pussy's going to feel so good around your dick, and oh, this is going to be nice. They have to show like their true colors and be like, give me everything you got for this wet. I don't cook, I don't clean.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh God. It's kind of like these congressmen. Like, we want to pass like this really, really good law that's going to benefit everybody. But then you got these asshole congressmen that put these earmarks on it. Like, oh, okay, cool. Healthcare for all, for everybody. And taxes aren't going to go up. But also, child porn's got to be legal. It's like, man, come on. We were going to get healthcare. And this asshole congressman from Alaska's got to put this extra shit in there. That's what that song's like to me. Child porn's going to be legal. That was a bit extreme.
Yeah, damn.
Yeah, that went from 0 to 60 quickly. Let's put a legit earmark in that bridge to nowhere in Alaska, where they built a bridge to nowhere, and it just goes nowhere. That's what they do. They come in with these earmarks in this song "Wet Ass Pussy" by Cardi B, and they're like, "You gonna get this wet ass pussy, gonna feel so good with this wet ass pussy. You gotta buy me a car with the, wait, what was that?
Wait. Cars.
You put some earmarks in that song, like I gotta do and jump through all these hoops. God damn it.
Well, the thing is, man, this is prostitution on sale. You know what I'm saying? This is pussy on sale.
Yeah, the pendulum needs to be in the middle, not the whole opposite side of Celine Dion.
Right.
We don't want to just know you're a hoe. We don't want to know that you're promiscuous and you've had like a body count of 400 or 500 dudes in your vagina.
Think about it. When you put it out like that, you're like, hey, any and all comers, if you're gonna give me some shit, you'll get this wet ass pussy. So that's now that's how I see you, because that's what you're putting out there. You're not talking to me directly, and this is not a one-on-one negotiation type of deal, right? You're just putting it out there. Hey, like when I see profiles on dating profiles and I see a woman with her tongue out,
she's imitating Cardi B. It's a direct imitation. Cardi B's the one that started that shit.
This is not something that I am attracted to, because...
Nor am I.
You are allowing everyone else... Because is there certain things that you would want to be the only one to see? Now, you understand, it's no virgins out here anymore, okay? We live in...
We've accepted that. Yeah.
This is not a society where virgins exist on a whole. So I understand that, but you can't let it be known that you just out here for any and everybody if they have a certain amount of status or cash, right? And for me, I'm not going to treat you as somebody I want to LTR. I'm going to treat you like what you're projecting. So when I ask for it, I'm going to ask for it directly, Wesley. I'm not going to ask you on a date. I'm going to ask you, how far can you spread them legs?
Right.
You know, I need you to do a split on my dick. I'm not going to be taking you out for shit. I don't need to spend that kind of time. I just need to know if you fucking.
I won't be spending money on a maid for your place or mine.
Hell no.
Or mine.
Bitch, you for sale, bitch. So, how much it costs? If that's all I want, how much it costs?
Well, they say in the song, give me everything you've got.
And I can't do it. I can't do it.
Does this give you guys listening, does this give you guys a good understanding about what they're doing over there and why a rotation for you is very, very important? Because if you were just out in the world only dating one bitch at a time, Cardi B would look very attractive to you.
Is this
because she's got this wet ass pussy for you, right?
Is that a popular song or not?
Yes.
It's a very popular.
It's probably
song.
the number one song in the country right now.
So if it's that popular, you think this is not being absorbed in the minds of women
100%.
and men, for that matter,
And men, but at least men have a physical. Men can talk themselves mentally into a lot of shit, right? But men are physically repulsed by certain things. Anthony, when you see a dog, a pile of dog shit in the yard, would you just pick it up with your bare hands and put it in your mouth and eat it?
no, I'm good
No,
with
we're physically repulsed. We're like, oh God, excrement. Even though a scientist would tell you there's actually nutritional value in that dog shit. If you're starving to death, you could keep yourself alive. You still would not be able to bring yourself to just grab it, that wet dog turd, just squish it all in your hands and just throw it right in your mouth. You know, lick it off your lips. You can't do it. Men are also physically repulsed for LTRs with very, very promiscuous women. And women don't know this yet. Because logically, well, what's the problem? Men sleep around, so women should be able to sleep around too. Cool. What's the problem? Dogs eat dog turds, Anthony. Dogs will sit there and lap them up. Their own shit. They'll eat it. Dogs can eat dog shit. How come humans don't want to eat dog shit too? Because it's different. Because it's different. When men are promiscuous, that makes women attracted to those men. Because they're desired by other women. When women are promiscuous, that to me is like taking a park bench that's been in downtown Houston for 20 plus years. Everyone sat on it. People have done God knows what on it. And bringing that bench in my house and letting my daughter, my little 1-year-old, just climb all over it with all those germs. That's what a promiscuous woman's vagina is like to me. That's like, oh, God, we're going to need 2 condoms tonight. For this wet ass pussy. I mean, wrapped up dick up for this wet ass pussy. Like, it's just, women haven't learned, Anthony, because we're not allowed to go on the Jimmy Fallon show and say very promiscuous women are repulsive to us. And the feminist rationalization, well, it's a double standard. How come men they're champions if they sleep around and women? I don't know. Why do women have boobs and men have dicks? I don't know. It's just our fucking species has certain shit and we're repulsed by this. No matter how much you talk in circles about how it's not fair, your vagina that's had a 400 a 400 dick body count inside it, that's the public park bench that we don't want to have kids with. Right or wrong, Anthony?
facts.
And they don't get, but it's not fair. And it didn't matter. That vagina is used up now. I'm sorry. That wet ass pussy. Yeah, that's not attractive, dude. And again, like we said earlier, we're not saying everybody's got to be a virgin. That's not what we're saying. But once, and we should go into this for a second, Anthony, for our new viewers. Once a woman has had 300 or 400 men inside them, it fucks them up psychologically too. And it makes it hard for them. This is a fact, guys. This isn't pseudoscience made up on the spot. This is very Googleable. But when women have sex with too many partners, it damages them psychologically to where they cannot physically connect with people that they're in long-term relationships with. Go ahead and Google it.
Facts.
Look that up. These are just facts, guys. This isn't pseudoscience made up on the spot. Once women have too many partners, they now can't physically connect with their long-term partner.
This is your woman saying there ain't no good men out here.
Right.
You can't connect with one. You don't have the ability to. You can't.
You've had too many partners.
You can't see one from the other. You can't see the forest from the trees. And you've had too many fucking tree trunks.
Yeah. And now you can't physically connect. Yeah, you can't do it. And,
they can't emotionally connect.
Well, that's what I mean. I hope that everybody. Thank you for being specific. Yeah, and this is something you can't say on the Jimmy Fallon show because it doesn't sound good. It doesn't fit the narrative. It isn't. What do we always say on the show, Anthony? It isn't what people want to be true.
Right.
So they close their ear. They put their fingers in their ears and close their eyes, and they just keep repeating, "No, women can sleep with as many people as they want. Women can sleep." Yeah, bitch, you can sleep with as many people as you want with your wet ass pussy. But when it comes time to where you want a long-term relationship because you want to have children, because again, just like there's a physical need for men to want to have sex, there's a physical need for most women. And when I say most, I mean 99 fucking % of them. Most women want to have children one day. And then when you go and you have this need, and on your Instagram, you think it's funny to pull over and pull strangers into your car that you've never met and suck their dick. And you can see the whole video of me doing this if you subscribe to my OnlyFans. You can only see me propositioning the stranger on my Instagram. But if you swipe up, click here for however much money a month, you can see this wet ass pussy. This is what we're dealing with, guys. And if you guys don't have a rotation, if you guys can't know which ones are Cardi B's and which ones are actual women you can have long-term relationships with, if you're only dating Cardi B's, you just think every woman's Cardi B, right?
Yeah. I mean, because you can get caught up with one type of bitch, right? Because if you don't know, there's differences in women, because typically when you date one chick for so long, there are some tendencies to repeat it, because you don't, instead of saying I'm going to do something different or try somebody different, you're like, well, I didn't do that one right.
Yeah.
So I can date the same type of chick. I just got to change what I'm doing. But
because I'm the one that messed it up last time.
Right. Instead of saying, no, you know what? That type of chick don't vibe with what I want. You just keep getting the same chick over and over again, and you're trying to try it different ways. And if I keep getting an accident in my car, I don't just change out the car and think that I'm
right.
Yeah, accident.
I got to start. Like, do I need to take a defensive driving course just like for my own driving ability?
Right.
You know, we had this light bulb moment on the episode that we had about long-term relationships and our take on long-term relationships. We had this light bulb moment off mic. And we were talking about, imagine that you're an NBA coach and you weren't as good a coach back then as you are now. And you've had all these epiphanies with your coaching ability. And you realize you didn't coach up this one player as good as you could have. So if I just go back and I get that player and I'm a better coach, and I get this same player that I didn't coach up well enough in the past, that means with my new coaching ability and my old player, the old player is going to be better. No. No, it doesn't equal that, man. Just because you're a better coach now doesn't mean he's going to become a better player under you, right? And it was this light bulb moment, right? It was this light bulb moment of like, oh, shit, we should have said that on the episode.
Yeah, there's no way a woman gets better because you're better, and and especially when she's never gonna see you as better, because that player is probably gonna blame you for not being a good coach at the time that when you was coaching them. So getting them back doesn't mean that they're gonna be a better player because you've gotten better. They're going to be like, well, I would have been better if you was better back then. So it's your fault that I'm not as good as I am.
I want to go into some hardcore meat and potatoes.
What's up?
Because we've laid some very good foundation on why. I mean, we went in deep and we did a deep dive into Cardi B's wet ass pussy. Like, we've laid some really good foundation.
Yeah.
About why rotations are important.
Let me see.
And
I see you got a shovel, so you about to dig deeper?
We want to go more 201 for
right.
for the latter part of this segment. I was inspired because I've gotten very, very detailed, intricate questions about rotations, and it's just like, hey, I heard you say this about a rotation, but you said this earlier, and I was just trying to clarify on blah, 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 and just these very, very detailed, like, you would think, like, this person is, like, 2 years deep into the rotation, and, like, I need to know the answer to this very detailed question. Like, you guys are saying this, but then you said that, and then you find out, like, this person don't even have a rotation. Okay, guys. And this is the meat and potatoes of this. This is what we're trying to lay the foundation for. If you don't have a rotation, I want you to think about it like you have no restaurants you're eating at, and the only way you can get food is go to restaurants. If you're going to no restaurants, motherfucker, don't get on Yelp and be like, well, I only want to go to the really good places. Motherfucker, you don't know how you're going to eat your next meal. Just go to restaurants. I don't care what you have to do. If you have no rotation, if you can just look in the mirror and go, I'm not dating 3 or more bitches today. Motherfucker, this is not a game of specifics and intricate little different moves I could make. And no, motherfucker, you're talking about chess and you haven't even began your game of checkers.
So you're saying they out here simulating.
Right. Right. It's like we were talking about how we were doing the pre-show, and we were talking about if you have, like, we compare a rotation a lot of times to being a coach for an NBA team, and you got 5 players you're coaching. Maybe this one only rebounds. Maybe this is just a shooter. Maybe only a shooter. Can't play any defense, and we're comparing all this other shit. But if you don't have a rotation at all, you're an NBA team that nobody knows about. Yeah, he's like, motherfucker, Little Rock has an NBA team. I didn't even know Little Rock had an NBA team. It's like right now, you got to be doing the most basic shit. Well, hold on a second. You said, Anthony, that you were having a tryout for a girl that you compared to and I'm using air quotes, a rebounder. And you said that she might be able to, air quotes, get some playing time. Go into that. What does that mean? Motherfucker, your team doesn't even have a website. What did you say earlier? You cracked me up. You're like,
motherfucker, they ain't got an arena.
Yeah. Don't be asking about the details of this player only, quote, rebounds, and this player only can shoot. And this no, motherfucker, you don't even have your team together yet. Don't be asking about how to play 3D chess when you haven't even drawn your tic-tac-toe board yet. Right now, you are playing a game of hungry hippos. Just tapping that fuck until you get up to 5 bitches consistently that you're dating. Motherfucker, that is your only goal. Anthony, the reason we did this whole segment is because this is the thing we can't get guys to just start doing, right? Guys that have been listening to our program for a year, for every episode, but they have yet to start the rotation. And I've heard all the excuses, Anthony. Well, do you ever think that you just kind of need to take some time off? No, not till you have a rotation. Well, I mean, what if I'm just trying to, like, take a break? No, because you know what? You're always going to have to fucking have these skills. So right now, this is like riding a bike. And the first time you rode a bike, a lot of skinned knees, right, Anthony?
Yeah.
I mean, until you know how to ride the bike, you can't take a break from riding the bike. Because guess what? Your whole life has been a break from riding a bike.
I was thinking that COVID was going to give me a break and keep me from having a rotation. And in some ways it did, but at the same time, it didn't. Like, I still have access to have tryouts, to add to my rotation, to still vet people, like, and date. Like, this is, if you're looking for a reason to not do something, you'll find it.
Yep. Like right now, Anthony, I'm taking a break from medical school. Currently. Have I gone to medical school one day in my life? No. I'm 42 years old. I'm just taking a break from medical school. I'm still going to be a doctor. Don't worry.
All right.
Don't worry.
All right.
But I'm just taking a break. Well, I mean, have you even applied to medical school? No, man, because I'm taking a break from it. My whole life has been a break from medical school. That's what a lot of you motherfuckers sound like. There is nothing more important to any of this red pill process than getting a rotation. And you have to start today, guys. And I like the analogy I used a second ago about riding a bike. When you were a kid trying to learn how to ride a bike, that was a frustrating process, man. And it was a lot of falling.
Wait. You had training wheels before you rode it, or you just got in and
Yeah, we call this high school. Yeah, your training wheels for dating was called high school. When bitches were... You could just get a bitch if you played on the football team.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
Didn't have to have any skills whatsoever.
Easy.
But you learn a little bit of shit until when you get out of high school, you find out like, oh, shit, none of that shit I used in high school works. I can't just be president of student council last year when I was a senior, and now I'm 19, and I'm not going to college or anything. Like, none of that shit works. You don't even have a house yet. Now you're in the same dating pool as like 35-year-old career motherfuckers.
Man, honestly, if I feel sorry for guys in high school now, because the access that women had to men was only in school back then.
Right.
Now online, these bitches got OnlyFans at 13. So, like, showing their feet and shit, like because
oh shit.
So it's like, you guys, man, it's probably worse for these guys out here now because, and hopefully, you're able to find some chick that's not into all this fucking social media shit. That's very rare, by the way. But
because there's never a shortage of broken families, right?
Right.
And women that grew up without close relationships with their father. I was listening to Corey Wayne's videos recently. And that's kind of been a common theme that he keeps referring to recently in his most recent videos. And he's right. Women that don't have positive relationships with their father, they need so much validation. And it's never enough.
Oh, it's dopamine. I was talking about that in the Discord. And we got a Discord, Red Pill Phone Tap Discord, just for you guys. If you want to join that, please do. And we were talking about how all the social media brings women, as far as like why they're never satisfied with guys and they're always looking for more, because the likes and the hearts and shit that they get on the social media platforms is a shot of dopamine for their brain.
Yep.
And when you go out on a date with them, they don't feel the same way you make you feel on a regular fucking date going out. And I was talking about how you being too nice as a guy when you've been taught to pull out the chair, open the door, bring roses to a date, or flowers, or chocolates, or a teddy bear. And all this dopamine action that you're giving women. And guess what? On the scale of 1 to if we're going like off a checklist or a point system, all those things that you've done, that's only 1 point they give you, because their life has been filled with validation from the photos that they represent, and when they go on a date with you, all this shit that you're doing, that's just 1 point. But for you, I spent money on flowers. I spent money on my cologne. I filled my gas tank up. I pulled out the chairs. I was a gentleman. I paid for the dinner. I paid for the movies. I paid for like you.
Oh my God, this was 87.34 points.
Right? But Rollo Tomassi has always said that we had the burden of performance.
Yeah.
So when we have to do these things, they see it as, well, this was supposed to happen. This is what you were supposed to do.
And Anthony, I want to ask you a question because you just kind of gave me a light bulb moment just now. Have you seen the movie Bombshell? That's about the Fox News gals that take that guy down, the main guy at Fox News.
I remember you telling me about this movie. Yeah,
I recommend you guys see it because it's a very good movie. What I observed, because this is a true story, by the way, and this woman had audio tape of the guy asking her to do shit for whatever. So she had this planned out, and he was sexually harassing these anchors. And this movie paints it just like Hollywood would paint it. Women are victims, and they're abused in the workplace and not treated fairly. Now,
I haven't seen it, so I can't give context on it.
Yeah, I know, and by the way, I respect that you're not commenting on something you haven't seen, because some people will fucking do that and it annoys the shit out of me. But Anthony, for people that have not listened to this podcast before, you and I both are passionately against sexual harassment in the workplace. Passionately. This isn't something we're saying for Jimmy Fallon fans. We believe that our sisters, mothers, aunts, daughters, nieces, wives, girlfriends should be able to go to work, and all you bitches should participate in just going to work. None of you bitches should be taking shoulder massages. All you bitches that do this, you make it hard on our nieces, wives, girlfriends, moms, sisters, daughters, because when they don't play ball, they're not the cool chick at work. You can tell by my voice. We are passionately against this on this program. That being said, when these bitches, Anthony, go and just frankly in this case, they go suck dick to get ahead, and then they get ahead by sucking dick, but then they get old. Now there's new bitches at Fox News that are young and more beautiful. In this case, now the bitch is menopausal and she's mad because she ain't asked. She's been moved to another program. We got to get the hot bitch in here. That's how you got to the top, though, was using your looks and your mouth to get ahead. But now that nobody wants you, now you have a problem with it after you had all this success, right? Now there's a problem. You know, and there's a moment in there, Anthony, where the guy at Fox News, she does this segment over women not being taken seriously in the workplace, and he like yells at her. He's the guy that was getting his dick sucked by her years ago.
Yeah.
Why she got moved up the chain. And he goes, hey, no more segments like that. But there's evidence to show that women are mistreated. And he like cuts her off mid-sentence. He's like, God damn it. Nobody wants to see a woman going through menopause on national television. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to see that shit. You used to be beautiful. Now you're not. Now you're mad. So here's my question for you. That was me setting that up. My wife, who's only 36 years old, she still remembers a time where there was no social media. 36 is still pretty young in the game. Mm-hmm. But these women that are growing up and they've had social media their whole life, getting that dopamine that you were saying a second ago, dude, you gave me a light bulb moment. This has been their reality their whole life. They've been getting validation for years. Let me ask you this question. How hard are these women going to hit the wall when they do? Ooh. This is going to be the hardest wall hit of that generation that's had this their whole life. Man, they're going to hit the wall. They're going to be angry when they get menopausal. And they're just fat and nobody wants to like their photos anymore. And they're old. I mean, they've been living off their looks their whole life to get these hearts and get these thumbs ups and get these followers. And then when all of a sudden it's no longer taking place, what do you think this is going to look like one day? Because I've never really thought about it till now.
Man, I think that when we talked about the pendulum swinging the other way, that it's at the max level for women's advantage right now as far as what they can get away with in society and all. By the time that happens, I think it's going to be swinging the other way. And they're going to have a hard reality to live in.
It hasn't even happened yet, and I'm kind of feeling sorry for them.
Well,
and I'm not being facetious. I can't imagine what that's going to feel like when all of a sudden, when you 5 years ago you were getting 1,200 likes, and then it goes down to like 3. Holy shit!
Well,
can you even imagine?
Yeah. Well, I remember. I'll give you guys an example. I was in Houston, Texas. I was working at a job on the north side, and the fellas wanted to go to a strip club for lunch because I think they were having like a buffet for like a free buffet, actually. Like it was a free buffet or something real cheap for like $5, something like that. And everybody went there for the food. The food was either free or close to free. And we went there for the food, and shit, there's titties up here. So it's like, it's a double
win.
Yeah. So why go to McDonald's when you can see titties at your lunch break, right?
Yeah.
And I remember it was an older white lady came out, and she was dancing, and she took off her top and did her thing, whatever. Nobody went up to tip her, and she ran it up there for like 3 minutes, saying that she's not going to take off anything else if she doesn't get tipped, and no one goes up there and this and that. And meanwhile, we're like looking at each other like, what the fuck is going on? And we just bust out laughing, right? And she just storms off the stage and like puts her top back on and saying that how broke we are and this and that. And
nope.
I remember thinking about this later on. Like, wait, no one told you to take your top off. No one asked you to work here, and you got to know that you're an older woman. Like we can visually see the wrinkles in your skin and like in your chest area, like your boobs are like too heavy for your skin to hold on without affecting it. Like there's things wrong with you right now that it's not grabbing the attention of young men. Like we were young, we were all in our 20s. So
to go a step further was probably repulsing you,
right? Like I don't want to look at you because I want to enjoy my lunch. So
yeah, nobody wants to see grandma get naked at the strip club.
And normally when like white women get older and they got freckles on their body, that shit don't look good, man. So
they call them liver spots as they age, right?
So I was like, oh man, I don't want to fucking see that shit. And she went and just fucking tried to like give us her discontent and in a rage speech, and we were like, bitch, get the fuck out of here. Like we don't care that you are leaving and cover that shit up. Matter of fact, put a jacket on, bitch. Like we don't want to see you up here. So that's the same kind of outrage you would think that they would run into. Like, why aren't I being looked? And you know what? I think it's going to happen at a younger age than the wall age. I think they're going to hit the wall at a very younger age than normal. And they don't have a lot of fucking skills because a lot of these women in these younger generations just have looks. That's it. They don't have any other things to offer beyond that because they don't think they have to. Yeah, they don't think they had to.
They've never had to.
They got wet ass pussy, right?
Yeah. And you're supposed to give them everything you got for that wet ass pussy. It's really, really weird because no one long ago, my grandmother would share this information with my aunts because she had 4 girls. And she would share with them, like, this is how you are a wife. This is what you do. You have to cook. You have to be able to know how to sew. You have to do all this shit. By the way, boy, does that look genius when you no longer are pretty. Because you have, like, all these things you can do, like, well, you used to be pretty, and I have feelings for you. But now that you're not pretty, there's all these other fucking things. I can't just get rid of your ass. I would be getting rid of a seamstress and a cook. Depending on how good they cook, it could be a chef.
I was about to say a culinary artist. The fuck
Right.
you talking about?
Yeah. So you're bringing like all this value, but there's no women around to tell other women like this is what's going to happen. They're just like, no, whatever you want to do, it's your dream. It's going to be special. And you're gonna do. And it's all this Disney narrative. And that's part of what this show is. We said, I think an episode ago, we're trying to get the truth out. But you can't watch Jimmy Fallon for the truth, can you?
Nah. You can't even get that from your parents these days.
Yeah, because I don't want to hurt my kids' feelings. I don't want them to just think that it's only their looks. And no, man, looks is what gets you in the door. If you're a woman, that's what gets you in the door.
It don't keep you there though. No. The vagina will get you in the door, but it ain't going to keep a guy. What does Patrice O'Neal say? A guy will fuck any bitch once. He has to like you to fuck you a second time. And you rather have a guy like you than love you.
Right.
If you can love a bitch and still beat her ass.
Well, and I'll be honest. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to steal that from Patrice for both sexes, because I still think it's way important for my wife to like me than love me. I don't want her to begrudgingly stay with me. Like, God damn it! People have that sentence where like, God damn it, I love him.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'm trapped. I'm trapped, motherfucker. You know, like, it's like,
Look,
I want her to be like, I like this guy.
Love keeps me from killing you. Like you keeps me from running you over. Like,
Right.
Like, I will harm you to a extent if I love you. I won't harm you at all if I like you, right? Because there's a distinct difference, especially, and like you said, you can do this on both genders, right? I will think harder about what it would feel like for you if I was to do an action or say something. But if I just loved you, like I love you because, and let's just go with what love is. Love is developed over time, right?
Right.
It's not something that, even though people say that they got love at first sight, it's actually lust. When they say, I'm in love with you, it's probably you in love with how they make you feel physically or something like that. Like, especially like that puppy love, like in the beginning of a LTR, before you actually go through some shit.
Hate to bring this up when you say love at first sight. Hate to bring this up, but sight, what does that mean? It means the bitch was beautiful.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's what it means. You got to be beautiful, bitch.
But
So,
you start loving her or loving him over time because of all the things that you guys probably been through. You probably had a death in the family and they were there for you. You probably went through college and graduated and they helped you study, and you probably had a kid with this person. So love is gonna come within somebody, especially the time you spend with them. You sleep in the bed with somebody and you go to sleep and you wake up and they didn't harm you. You're going to
love them.
Yeah, you're going to develop some safe, secure. This person loves me because I was never harmed when I was at my most vulnerable while I was sleeping.
best example of love versus like is if you have a sibling that's similar in age. Boy, you will love your brother, but you will physically fight that motherfucker when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you love him. But man, there was that age between like 10 and 11. You didn't like that motherfucker very much, right?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I rather, and if a bitch likes me, man, that's all I'm looking for. Like, I want her to like me based on, and we talk about this high interest shit, you know, using Corey Wayne's terms. With high interest, it's based on how good you make her feel when she's around you, and vice versa. You know, that's why you like them, because the way you feel when you're around them. And relationships is about giving. And I always say this about happiness. When you're happy and you have, when I say, I like to call storages of happiness. Well, you have excess happiness around you to the point where you can share your happiness. When somebody comes into your life, you can give them your excess happinesses around you, right?
Yeah.
And if you start to feel like they've eaten all your excess happiness and starting to take away from you, then you're starting to realize, hey, this is a selfish person. Like, they're not happy by themselves. They need my happiness to be happy. That's when you're starting to say, okay, this person is a complete taker, and they don't benefit me at all. They need me to be happy. This is a red flag. This is somebody that you don't want to have an LTR with. So, as you being in a rotation, you can easily dismiss this person and say, you know what? I need to spend time with my others, because this person definitely is going to drain me over a long-term relationship.
Yeah.
So this is why being able to have multiple women, dating multiple women, gives you the opportunity to kind of like slide the scale towards a particular woman that's meeting the needs. And the ones that don't meet your needs is helping you pick the right woman. That's why having multiple different type of women matters. That's why if you date one woman at a time, you can't see this difference.
You can't, and you're kind of giving me an aha moment right now, because I want to go back to your example. Like, you've got this extra happiness you have built up, but they start robbing you of it, right? They don't do this shit, guys, on the first fucking date.
Nope.
Okay? This shit, and until you experience it, you won't understand what Anthony's saying. Because these bitches do this, and it sneaks up on you. And next thing you know, you're like, God damn, I ain't had a good time with this bitch the last 4 fucking times we hung out.
Facts.
It begins cool in the beginning when I'm meeting her needs, taking her to a restaurant where she can take pictures of her food and shit. But then I get her back to my place. Bitch don't want to fuck. She doesn't want to. You know what? We have some 97%ers listening.
Okay.
Let me make that more palatable.
Okay.
Get back to your place. She doesn't want to meet your needs. You met her needs. Let her take pictures of her food for Instagram and get her a nice meal. But get back to the apartment. She doesn't want to meet your needs. And she's got all these excuses why. And you know what? Why do people give excuses, Anthony? Because they work. If you've been given excuses for years, boy, you know some good ones.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's just I haven't. No, I'm going to have my spleen removed, and the doctor thinks it might be appendicitis. No, I suffer from migraines, and yeah, there's always something, right?
Yeah.
Always some reason they can't fulfill your needs, and they've got this shit down. And then of course you're not a fucking monster, so you're like, well, shit, appendicitis does sound serious. I don't want to be fucking a bitch and have her appendix explode on me, right? All right, well, but then you start noticing and then the next time you guys hang out, she does fulfill your needs, but then the next 2 times she doesn't. And this shit sneaks up on you. And like you said, all of a sudden, Anthony, you realize, most of the time this bitch isn't making me happy. And she doesn't even care. But if you're only dating one bitch, you don't notice this shit for years, fellas.
That's scary.
Fellas, you don't notice this for years because now you've developed feelings for her. You've watched every Disney movie growing up, and you know she's, what do they call him, Anthony? The one. Right? She's the one.
Oneness.
She's the one. Spoiler alert, that's not a real thing, guys. Soulmates are not a real thing. Okay? You have to date lots and lots of women to see specific shit. Like we talked about earlier in the podcast. You like a woman that runs a kitchen like a restaurant where every dollar matters. And guys, the reason I bring up that specific is because there are many of you that don't give a fuck about that shit. Y'all eat fast food. I ain't judging you. I'm just telling you how I live my life, how specifically you're going to have specific things that make you happy. Okay? And you can only learn about these kind of things. I married a bitch who didn't do this shit, Anthony. I made the ultimate, commitment. I married a bitch who had none of these skills because I didn't even know I wanted this because I didn't date enough bitches. I didn't have a rotation. I let women, as you said very nicely, as you said, that robbed me of my happiness. I mean, it was just such a light bulb moment for me just then. Just robbed me of my happiness. And I was just, and this is what men do when you have oneness. And I meant to say this on the last episode, but we ran a little short of time. You guys will give yourself an excuse for living in hell. Well, once you're in hell, right, you got to make excuses. Well, the air conditioning down here has been broke for a long time, and there's fire everywhere. There's no way that air conditioner can work 100% of the time, right? I mean, who could do that? Every time I go to the mall, the air conditioner is always working, right?
Man, for
some reason, the air conditioner can always work at some places, but
right,
just not where you live, right?
I was giving somebody an example of this about when I wanted a Nissan Titan truck. And everywhere I looked, I found this truck. No matter where I went, I saw this truck. I saw different versions, different colors, big tires, nice rims, all kind of fucking Nissan Titan trucks. But I didn't get one because, well, actually, I couldn't afford a fucking Nissan Titan truck. When they were popular, man, they were expensive.
Yes, they were.
And I was like, I can't afford this truck. And I end up with a GMC Sierra, full cab.
Yeah.
Long bed. And
that's a big vehicle, sir.
Yes, it is. Didn't realize it at the time, but it was. And it was like, and this truck was like $20,000 cheaper than the Nissan Titan. And I was just never really satisfied with the truck because I've always wanted a Nissan Titan. And the things what you would do with a Nissan Titan, as far as going with a GMC Sierra, it's the same thing you do when you set your sights on a particular type of woman, but you settle for what she can give you now. Instead of telling her you want her to be better, for you to be in a relationship long, and you want to continue in this relationship, you just accept what she's giving you. Because what happens? She cries. She pouts. She doesn't understand why she has to do something that would make you happy. These are things that we tend to let fall through the cracks because we give them we don't want to lose. We don't want to lose the possibility of losing the vagina, right?
Yeah.
We don't want the scare off pussy because we have a scarcity mindset,
and we don't know where we're going to get the next pussy.
But if you have if you've had a 5 gal rotation in your life, you know that if you lose her, because she don't want to step up to the standards that you have for the relationships you want, then you can find someone else after her. You don't have this scared mentality of that you'll never find another one or get a better one, because I'm going to tell you, man, you know what I found out by dating multiple women at the same time? I've always gotten a better one than the last one I had.
Can you please repeat that for our audience?
I know it's definitely, it was a light bulb moment for me too. I've always tend to find a better woman to replace the last one. And even if she left me for whatever reason, even if I didn't have an idea why that she left, I end up finding someone way better than her when I replaced her. So, guys, stop being so fucking scared. Stop being so worried that you're going to be judged by some woman that don't want you to help, like this bullshit that you see on social media all the time. If you're going to treat me like an option and not a priority, I don't want you. Fine. Bye, bitch. Because I know I'm not your only fucking option. I know this.
Right.
And
I know I'm not the only person in your DMs.
And if you was treat me like a priority, you would stand out above the other women that's an option to me. So it goes both ways. Don't always feel like you're the one playing them, because they play you. Trust me. The words they use they have been using for years. The games they're playing, they've been playing for years. Why do they keep doing the same game? Because it's working. So the rotation is unique because you are saying, hey, out of all the women that I'm dating right now, which one is fitting me better? And when they all don't fit you, guess what? All of them got to go. And you got to start over.
And when you start over, motherfucker, it's right back to hungry, hungry hippos. Do not send questions to this program moving forward. Guys, we have to eventually transcend to a higher level, fellas. Do not send me your specific questions about rotations if you've never even started one. Sorry, it's tough love, Anthony.
Hey,
but we have to get better. We have to transcend. We can't keep answering the same questions. We can't answer 3D chess questions if you've never played tic-tac-toe. I'm sorry, guys. You get your rotation started. We laid out all the foundation during this podcast. Even for you 97%ers, we've told you what they're doing. We're told you their tricks, how they're shaming you, what they're trying to say when that's not the reality. We've laid it out that if they have to keep being promiscuous from you because they know that would make you gross to them, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We've also laid out that whenever they leave you for someone that they were dating all along, what they're going to say, it just happened. It just happened. But this no rotation mentality, and you guys are asking me, 3D chess moves. Why did Bishop 4? Why did Bishop 2 go to A6 when the rook... Motherfucker, have you ever even played chess? No, I've never played any games ever. I've never even played Monopoly or Life or anything. But I just have this specific question about the three-dimensional chess you guys are playing. Motherfucker, you need to start playing tic-tac-toe and Hungry Hungry Hippos first. Because all you're doing... I'm sorry, Anthony, here comes a big truth bomb. All you're doing by asking me your 3D chess moves... I'm sorry, your 3D chess questions, all you're doing is you're delaying your first game of tic-tac-toe. You're just taking up time, acting like you're part of the group. I'm going to join the Discord and I'm going to throw some real curveballs here. get your rotation started, guys. Sorry. It's time for us as we get to the tail end of 2020 and roll into 2021. We need to start getting a little bit better, guys. If you're not dating at least 3 to 5 women, and we talked about this before, when you go from 5 to 6, whew, that's a whole different ball game. But I'm not going to get into that because this whole segment is over no rotation mentality. You're asking all these questions, throwing all these curveballs at Wes and Anthony. Hey, what about when this happens? What about when that? Get your rotation started. If you got to start your rotation with 5 fat, ugly women just to get it going, as Anthony just said, when you start moving people into the rotation, you will always get better and better women, but you got to get it started, guys. Anthony, if you're unemployed, you know what will make you get a job,
Getting a job
super fast? Get a real shitty job that you hate. Go, if you don't like working in restaurants, go work in fast food.
It's like it is a motivating factor that you put in your life. Like this can't be my life.
Yeah. Too good for this. Too smart.
Yeah. So when you get if you get what someone has said to me, a land whale, if you will be like, you know what, I deserve a seal. Or at least a walrus.
Come on. I deserve.
If I'm fucking with whales, I know I can at least get a fucking walrus in this.
We're not talking about one night stand whales either. We're talking about a fast food job you got to go back every day to until you get another job. Boy, it'll motivate you to start talking to some finer women. Because meanwhile, these fucking whales are like, how come you don't call me? What the fuck's going on? And you're like, why didn't I call you, bitch? Because you're a big whale.
Because my boat don't carry whales, bitch. I'm going to sink my motherfucking boat.
Yeah, we should have got a bigger boat. And it's just, it's like, guys, yeah, you got to get your rotation started. And like I said, if you don't have a rotation, those standards go way down. Now, does that mean you get crazy bitches that are going to, like, pull guns on you and shit? Use some common sense, fellas. Come on now. Well, you guys told me to just date anybody and everybody, so I started dating a woman with AIDS, and now I have HIV. Man, don't send me those emails, okay? Use some common sense here, fellas. Don't put your life in danger just to get rid of your scarcity mindset, okay? Don't put your life in danger. Use some common sense. But also, guys, learn that you have to get good at tic-tac-toe before you can get good at checkers. And you got to get good at checkers before you can get good at chess. And you got to get good at chess before you can start playing 3-dimensional chess. Okay, guys? But get started is the purpose of this podcast. I'm sorry, this episode. Not the purpose of this podcast. But if I could tell you, if I could wave a magic wand, Anthony, I only get one wish.
Okay.
What could our audience do? And I just wave a magic wand, and I just get them to do one thing. This would be my wish. Get your rotation going so that you're not dependent on this one crazy bitch that keeps doing this one thing you guys keep asking me about, or this one bitch that you're in a relationship with. Now that I read Corey Wayne's book, now I know better. Why can't I get her back? It's like, no, get your rotation going. If you're not in a monogamous relationship, and that also means if a bitch just broke up with you,
okay,
you are not in a monogamous relationship, she broke up with you, you need to have a rotation. You can never be happy in an LTR. You'll never be as happy as I am in an LTR unless you have a rotation. Anthony, I don't like pounding on the desk. But this is one I get passionate about. They got to get a rotation, right?
Got to. These are the basics, man. This is how you get to the LTR. You gotta start with being with.
But Anthony, my goal isn't an LTR. Okay, man.
Okay.
You still got to have a rotation.
It's still because your goal is to be with the best woman you can get. You know, when Patrice O'Neal said this before, The woman that you're with right now is the best woman you can ever get. She represents the best you can have. So, are you gonna be carrying around a land whale, a walrus, or a seal because that's the best you can have? I'm gonna challenge you guys to say that I think you can do better than that.
And this segment was brought to you by Underwater Mammals.
We trying to get you better. Sometimes we gotta use the animal kingdom because we're animals ourselves, guys. So,
and don't forget that whale has some wet ass pussy
because it's in the ocean. Man, come on. If she smell like she has never mind. I won't go there.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the Red Pill Phone Tap. It's been a tremendous pleasure being part of the wisdom of your red pill journey. Anthony, where can they find us online?
Everywhere and anywhere when it comes to, if you can connect online, we're probably there. SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, Facebook, YouTube, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts. We everywhere. Contact us at redpillphonetap@gmail.com. We're on Discord having these same conversations all day long. Join us. Put in your 2 cents.
And put in the work, fellas.
Yeah, come back and let us know what's happening out there.
We don't want you to be a student forever. We want you to graduate and get your tassel and your diploma eventually, fellas. Come on, guys.
Yeah, we'll be a part of your journey and be just as fucking proud as you are going through it because you're making progress as a man.
Like our red pill children, right? All right, fellas. Wherever you are, whenever you are, thank you for making us a part of your week, and thank you for joining us here at
the Red Pill Phone Tap.